And today I wanted to talk to you guys about the stuff I've learned since I started a online merchandising business, which is print on demand. Okay, so what is print on demand? Print on demand is essentially just selling different designs on different printable materials like t-shirts, mugs, stickers, even frames and things like that. So it's one of the ways where artists, photographers, or people in the creative space can make extra income. What separates it from probably doing those things yourself is that you actually send your designs off to a company and they handle everything, like they do the printing and they do the deliveries. All you do is send off your design and get a commission of that. So as for long as I can remember, merchandise are something that I really love personally. Like I can catch myself wearing different branded shirts with maybe superhero characters or just something that was written on it that I liked. So it was something that always fascinated me, and I was always thinking about doing something like that in the future. I came across this idea by watching Red Coffee's video where he talks about his 7 streams of income and how he started off everything at the age of 24. I've seen a lot of videos like that on YouTube where people are talking about money, but he's resonated with me because he was able to break down each step that he took and what he was able to do. He talked about having a print on demand business, and he talked about Teespring, which is my company of preference when it comes to print on demand. Because he was able to give actual references to what he did, it inspired me to start my own business now. So that's why I'm going to be talking to you guys about what I've learned since I started from my own personal perspective. The first thing that is most important is starting matters. A lot of times we have awesome ideas, amazing ideas that are always going to be stuck in our head because we never really take out the time to execute them. Now, this video has been one that I've wanted to make for more than 6 months, right? It has been an idea that has been stuck in my head, but because I've not taken the time to sit down here and craft out the video, it hasn't come out and nobody will see it. If at the end of the day I don't edit this video, I don't put it together, nobody gets to see it. So starting really matters. And the funny thing that happened was when I started off using Teespring, a lot of people that used to see my designs when I post them would ask me how they could get it. But since I live here in Nigeria and Teespring operates internationally, it was now way more expensive for somebody to get my product here in Nigeria, and that got me thinking, how could I solve that problem? Funny, I had this company called Printivo that I print stuff with here in Nigeria, and I've even printed out different t-shirts with them like that I wore personally. But I didn't really think about it as a business because they didn't give a commission of it. But because I had started doing stuff with Teespring, I started looking for other alternatives. I discovered that Printable had a storefront option where I could sell my merchandise off their websites and get a commission of that. So it was really easy for me because they operate here in Nigeria and they have logistics sorted out as well. So because I started with Teespring, I was able to think about what other options were available to me. And even though I've been using Printable to print stuff for more than 2 years, I didn't even know that they had a storefront option. But because I started using Teespring, I was able to think about an option locally, and that helped me out in a lot of ways because a lot of people that saw my designs could actually now afford to buy them because there was no need to deal with the exchange rate and huge delivery fees, having stuff come all the way from overseas. Right, so that was the first thing that I learned. The second thing that I learned, and I feel like this is very, very key to whatever type of business you're operating, is trust. Trust is the foundation that every business runs on and every business operates to survive. If people don't trust you, they end up not doing business with you. We've seen it with many different companies where somebody might have an amazing idea, but because they feel like they don't have the trust of people, they pair up with somebody that already has love of audiences or has like an outreach. And you could see that happen with Netflix, you can see it happen with Tesla, you can see it with a lot of other companies. How does trust affect selling merchandise? Everything I've sold right now, apart from a couple of random sales, have come from people that know me personally. And when I interact with people that want my items, I get to hear things like, oh, do you trust the quality? Is it thing looking as nice as it looks online? So it has to now be me reassuring them and telling them like, oh, I actually use these stuff for myself. I know people even ask me a lot like, oh, what happens when you wash the merchandise? So looking for that feedback, and most of the time I still go on to say, okay, if it's black or if it's a design that is really going across, you try not to wash the design, you try not to squeeze the shirt. All those things are conversations that happen because people are looking for that trust. And like I said, everything I've sold right now has been based on trust, either with somebody else recommending my business to someone else, or me doing that recommendation myself. And yeah, trust is very, very key. I can't overemphasize it. Now, recently, someone ordered a shirt from me, and I got it printed, and I was going to send it off to them. And I think we were having a conversation, and she was like, "Oh, I should check it out before I do." And I checked it out, and I saw that the quality wasn't to the standard I wanted it to be, because she actually paid a premium for it, right? And my first instinct would have been, oh, send it to her and see if she likes it, because it's been a design that I've printed a couple, so I know how it should look, but she doesn't. Like, she could just look at it that way. But I felt like that would be betraying that trust factor. It could be that she gets it and she doesn't complain, but when next somebody wants to get an item from me, she will just be like, I don't do quality assurance checks on products that I send out to people. So it was just one of those things, and even though it's going to take a week to fulfill that order, I had to do a recall, and I had to explain and let her know that, oh, this is the reason why I feel like I don't want to give you this product. It doesn't have that quality that I feel like you paid for. And because of that conversation, I feel like when she actually gets the product the way it was supposed to be given to her, she would have that trust to recommend me or buy something else, rather than it just being a single sale and I don't hear from her again. So I can't overemphasize it. Trust is one of those foundations that I feel like every business is built on. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is you have to put yourself out there a lot more than you think you should. When I started this whole thing, I used to see myself as this really good designer, which I still believe I am. But I used to feel like I was the best thing since sliced bread. It was just one personal type of confidence that I have, which isn't a bad thing. But there's this level that you need to understand that not everybody wants what you're selling. Like, you need to look for the people that really need what you're selling. So you can't just do it based off your conceptions of yourself and just believe that as soon as you have product out, people are just going to be rushing it. Like, that's what I thought when I initially started. I just thought that, oh, people just see me wearing my merchandise and they'll be like, hey, where did you get this? And I'll just be like, oh, off my online store. But it didn't happen that way. Like, I remember sending out like a broadcast message to like 500 people, and one person responded to this sale. It felt like the odds were stacked against me, doing 500 to 1. But that one person had repeat sales. You need to talk to a lot more people. If you feel like you need to talk to 20 people to make one sale, increase that to 40. And that's why someone like Grant Cardone says, when you are famous, it's way easier to make more money, right? Because people already know you and they trust your brand. So when you are starting out, you need to build that trust, and the only way you can build it is to keep being in face of people and sell yourself as much as you can. So yeah, you need to put yourself out there a lot more than you think, because we are bad estimators about the level of input we need to do to get an expected result. So yeah, if you feel like you need to put one level of effort in, think about doubling that. So that's another thing I learned. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is focusing too much on short-term success. Short-term success really kills momentum. Like, and that's why recently I've had the goal of selling 100 t-shirts in months. Now, like right now, that feels like a very big goal for me because I'm really pushing maybe like 5, or on a good month 5, and sometimes 2. And why has that been? Because there are days when I just sell one t-shirt and I'm just like, you know what, I'm made for life. Like one person in this universe really wants something that I created. What else do I need, right? And because of that, I relax and I'm like, oh, let me just take a chill pill. Like I have other things going on. I'm designing things. I'm working on other aspects of my life. Like I can't just make this single thing be all that I'm about. And yeah, because of that short-term success, I let go of that momentum that I'm building. And what happens is that when I'm trying to build that momentum again, it now becomes way more difficult because when I was already locked in, I wasn't thinking bigger. So yeah, you need to focus on your long-term goals. You need to have short-term goals, but focus on your long-term goals. Don't let success at any point deter you or make you feel more special than you are. Just keep trusting the process and keep moving on. And yeah, you get to wherever you're expecting yourself to get to. So that's another thing I learned. All right, so this one might be counterintuitive, but I feel like it's just my take. So don't. You can take this with a grain of salt, but it is my own personal opinion. And I feel like passive income isn't always truly passive. So this is what I mean. When I watched Greg's video and I thought about print on demand can be a very good way of having passive income, where if you have your marketing and everything set up right, like you could just be making money when you're not really there, right? And that's what passive income means. It's just a way of you making money without you actively doing something, right? But the truth of the matter is, passive income most of the time isn't truly that passive, or in the sense of it, like there's always going to be a lot of work that you need to put in before anything start throwing off revenue, whether it's you buying a house or you being a landlord. Like there's always going to be something that is required from you. So I know there are a lot of people that have built businesses to that point, to have that capacity that it doesn't need them physically to be there, but there's still a lot that goes into that. There are still people that they need to hire. There are still decisions that they need to make. So as much as we always believe that passive income is just something that you do and you forget, I don't believe that it's that sort of thing. There are a lot of companies that I see, even their CEO maybe being the face of the company and just going about talking about different things, like maybe doing PR or maybe giving talks at events. Like that is really marketing the company in a way. Like it might not be them actively telling you to come and buy from their brand, but it's just one of those things that they do. They need to be in public eye. They need other people to do things for that brand. So if you're really running anything that you believe is going to be passive, it still requires input from you. It could be like writing a book. You still need a publisher, you still need editors, you still need people to do marketing for you. So how well you can have a system around this can really determine how truly passive it will be for you as an individual. But I don't feel like businesses can exist with being passive. That's just my own opinion. So that's one other thing that I learned, right? So passive income isn't truly passive. All right, so yeah, I think this next point is going to probably be like the fourth one that I talked about, but in just a slight different take of it. So don't stagnate. Don't stagnate just means don't get your hands off the wheel, or don't just don't disappear. Basically, every business is like a growing organism. every business is a growing organism, so you need to contribute your own factors to it as well. So don't stagnate. For me, there were months where I just didn't want to promote the business. I didn't want to, like, I felt like, especially when I had new designs out, I let my expectations get into my head, and because it wasn't received, or the reception wasn't as massive as I thought was going to be, I get maybe discouraged or frustrated, and I just left the business. I wasn't posting online, I wasn't talking about it. Now I will give an instance. When the year started, I was really excited about selling t-shirts. I had my goals and everything, and I think I started posting often, and my cousin saw a shirt that she liked, and she and her husband got one. So going off that momentum, I think I talked to somebody else that wanted a t-shirt, but like, because of the size that he wanted a t-shirt and the printing size, like, I felt, what the reality of things that happened was that his t-shirt size did not match the printing size, so it ended up looking smaller than what it would have looked like if it was somebody smaller that got it. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, let me try to break it down. So let's say somebody buying a small shirt, right, and he got a large, because of the design size which didn't scale up. I don't know why that didn't happen, but I feel like it's part of the company's terms. But basically, he wasn't too pleased with the size, and when he gave his feedback, like, I felt crushed by it. So for like a month or two, I wasn't really posting about my products. I just went numb because I got a bad review. And like that 2 months later, when next I saw him, and I just apologized, like, I'm sorry about the order, like, it didn't come out. He was like, oh, it's fine, like, he's even been wearing it, and people have been asking him about it, and yeah, he sent me pictures, and I was like, wow. So I was just here feeling sorry for myself while this person has moved on and was enjoying the product either way. So because of that, I stagnated, and I don't know what marketing and doing things with energy would have gotten me in those 2 months. But because I took my hand off the ball, I took my eyes off the prize, I didn't do anything for that period of time. And by the time I came back to it, it was now a bit more difficult if I was if I didn't stagnate. So yeah, that's just another thing I'll talk about. Please don't stagnate. Don't overthink things. Like, when it comes to any type of business that is going to be run, there are going to be mistakes that are going to be made. You need to be able to talk to yourself about them when they are made and move forward from that. So guys, those are my tips of some of the things that I learned. I know I threw in a bit of stories here and there as it came into mind. I didn't try to have a very scripted video. I just wanted to talk straight from the heart, and that's what I think I did. So if you feel like you want to support my business, I'm going to have links to my stores in the description. So if you're in Nigeria, you want to purchase from me, I will be sharing my link for Printivo. Printivo operates in Nigeria, so you could just get your stuff from there. Or if you're in the US, Middle East, in the UK, you can either use my Teespring store or my Redbubble store. Preferably Teespring, because I feel like their profit margins are higher. But yeah, I think Redbubble also has different products as well. So whatever it is you feel like, just check out my store, share the link with somebody else that you think might be interested in the product. Until I catch you guys on the next one, stay blessed.